Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Windbreaker Podcast, episode number 36 for Monday, August 5th, 2024. Marty here, joined by Jamate, Jack, and producer Eric behind the scenes. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be looking backwards and chatting about gaming magazines, media, and spaces, both physical and online, that shaped us growing up. And I kind of chose this as a little nostalgic look back just because there was the sad news of Game Informer, the magazine's closure, and also just because I am a nostalgic sap. So,
We all live for that.
and I thank you to people already right off the bat asking how I'm doing from COVID. I'm recovering. I'm feeling better-ish, mostly better. I'm giving a big thumbs up there. Obviously, two housekeeping things before we get started. Right at the top, Yahtzee is on summer holiday with the family, so there's gonna be no Yahtzee tries stream on Wednesday and no fully Ramble-matic this week. However, there will be the edited Yahtzee tries video that'll be going up on Wednesday. So if you miss your Yahtzee, tune back in Wednesday, and then he'll be back, of course, on Monday for all the regular shenanigans. And then more importantly, as I'm sure a lot of you already know, Frost resigned from Second Wind last week. And in non-corpo, just very honest speak, I genuinely enjoyed working with him and collaborating with him. I still consider him a friend, and I honestly wish him the best with Cold Take or whatever he decides to do, going forwards. And to some folks who might understandably be worried, I just want to assure you that the sky is not falling in the house. Terrible time for a COVID cough. The house is not on fire. We here at Second Wind, we're all still here because we believe in the team and we believe in this direction, and because we genuinely love creating silly, informative, and entertaining videos for y'all. So as long as you're still here watching them, we're still going to be here making them. So thank you guys for sticking around with us.
Absolutely. And Marty, just to double down, is like to make sure, because we are all looking forward to more Frost content. The Other Frost is his YouTube channel. So if you want more Frost content, I'm sure that's where he will be producing it. The Other Frost. That's where you can go.
Subscribe.
Whatever he feels like making over there, absolutely support him.
He's got a Twitch channel as well. Probably do some streaming. So check him out.
Yeah. Great.
Great. I said I didn't die, even though I did die midway through that, so I apologize. But yeah, so this topic this week, looking back at the kind of the media that defined us growing up around games, because it's easy if you just look at it now. It's like, oh, you just go on the internet and there's a million places to go for your game coverage, for people gabbing about games, for HD videos of games, review of games. However, back in the day for olds like Jack and myself, that wasn't the case. There was like a tangibility to all this that you had to kind of go out and seek. And I know, Jamate, you said the same thing. You had some online spaces as well. So just kind of wanted to wax poetic about some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Jack, you want to start off? What's your kind of history with, were you a big gaming magazine person as a kid? Were you how did you consume games other than playing them as a little toddler?
Yes. Yeah. I would rush out and I would get my hands on a copy of Nintendo Power however I could. I was not able to get a subscription to Nintendo Power back in the day, but whether it be a local game store or just a friend who I would steal it from, I just straight up break into their house,
You've just
steal it. Yeah, 100%. I can't find my magazines. Weird.
Somewhere in Japan, Miyamoto would wake up in a cold sweat and be like, "Oh no, he's done it again."
They based Waluigi off of me. That's a true thing.
That honestly checks out.
But honestly, most of my content, as far as magazines were concerned, at a younger age, were strategy guides, specifically. For games that I wouldn't be able to play. We grew up with very few gaming consoles in my house specifically. And my mom, who didn't quite understand what was cool or hip, we usually had the worst of the gaming consoles. I was one of the very few to have a Sega Saturn instead of any other system. So, I played a ton of Gex. A ton of Scud the Disposable Assassin, the high quality.
Why did you have a Sega Saturn? I don't mean that in a mean way, but why?
Because when you're younger, you don't have a lot of your own money, and so my mom, being very thrifty, probably found a Sega Saturn at a rummage sale because no one wanted it, and was like, "You like video games? I got you a new video game console."
It does a video game. You love those.
Exactly. This does video games. So most of my time was reading strategy guides for games that I wasn't playing. Like what is now watching a YouTube watch through of a game you won't play was me looking through the strategy guide to be like, oh, that would be awesome to play that.
I love that. Kind of like moving your finger around maps. Like, oh yeah, I'd definitely do that. Oh, that'd be a tough part. I don't know.
Yeah. I had an even sadder take on that. So instead of having strategy guides, I had those generic kind of like 1,000 cheats for the SNES and for Game Genie and stuff like that. Just the generic ones. And I would look at the cheats for the games I was playing, but then I would go through the book and look if any other games had cool cheats. And if they did, I would make me want to play them. So I would try and seek them out based on the cheats in the book.
Purely on cheats alone.
You chose your game based on how well you could cheat off of it? Is that what you're saying?
No, not how well I could cheat off of it. Like if it had a big head mode, I was like, oh, this is fun. I want to play this. And like
level select is like whatever, like 1,000 lives doesn't matter.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, right. I don't want to cheat. I want to have the fun things, and that's why I think I was so attracted to games like Ratchet and Clank, which have so many unlockables and cheats within them that allow you to just alter the game for more replayability and stuff like that. So I would go through these books looking for games that I guess I wasn't thinking about it like this as a child, but now reflecting on it, I was looking for games with senses of humor. And they were fun and like funny, and those were the games I would then try and beg my mother to get me.
I like that you can glean, like as an adult, you can glean like, oh, what did this mean to me as a child? Where most of my things, I'm like, oh, I was just an idiot.
Most of the things, I just made a video on how much of an idiot I was as a child, but like I was definitely an idiot. But in hindsight, I think those are the things I was attracted to, those silly cheats, and I think it's just because I found them fun and funny, and I wanted games that would do that as well.
I think back to the cheats in those magazines, and I think back the 90s were a weird time for ads. Gaming, I don't know if there was just no regulation, or they just didn't understand like who their demographic was, or if they just got ad companies that didn't understand gaming. But I remember one, I gave Eric the link. I don't know if you could show the picture of this Goemon's Great Adventure. So it's Legend of the Mystical Ninja. It was a series on the Super Nintendo and on the N64 where you played as just like a little chibi ninja, like going through Japan, whatever. This ad, it was a hot tub full of models, and they're all surrounding, and you just see his hair popping out above the water. And I'm like, why did they take this lovable and innocent thing
and he doesn't have his clothes on,
horn it up? They just really horned him up.
His clothes are like on the side of the hot tub as well. He's naked.
What is he doing down there?
That was so many ads though. Like, what was it for the Game Boy? It'd be like, it would be like, half naked ladies, in their bed, like tied up women to be like, finally she's taken care of, so you can go play your Game Boy. And it's like, what?
Look, I just want to play Donkey Kong Land. Why are we doing this?
Why aren't they? It's portable. You can use the Game Boy while you're doing anything. Why do they have to advertise that?
I think if I'm not mistaken, David Lynch did some of the PS2 marketing, and I'm like, this probably was a bad choice. You probably don't need David Lynch out there.
I need to see this. I'm such a huge David Lynch fan. How do I not know this?
Here's a nightmarish vision of how you can play Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yeah, but I think like. Remember how, just to stick on advertising for a little bit, remember how new the medium of video games is. One of my favorite ads still to this day is the US Legend of Zelda commercial where they just hired like an actor to like perform like, Tech Tights, Zelda, Octo Rock. And it was just like one actor wearing an all black outfit doing interpretive dance to what he thought the monsters were. Because because what's a video game and how do we advertise it, right?
We literally don't know what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like age ranges are such a crazy thing as well, right? Because I think early advertisements are a lot more geared towards kids, but those kids then grew up. So have had to adjust and try and advertise to a larger age range, which is where they get weird. Like some of the Nintendo Power adverts were like, toenails in a jar and like weird stuff, like scratch and sniff stuff that makes you vomit and wild. It's just anything to get people talking about it, right? Because we don't know how to market to kids, teenagers, and adults all at the same time.
That scratch and sniff was famously, that was the Earthbound strategy guide and the Earthbound marketing campaign, which that came in a giant box because it came with the strategy guide. And the strategy guide was awesome because it was almost like a newspaper / travel guide. And so there was like little like articles in the strategy guide of like, oh, here's like what's happening in this town you go to, but like in the world of the game and stuff. And then it was also a strategy guide, like how to beat bosses. But their whole marketing campaign was scratch and sniff. And it would be like, scratch this and you smell, and it's like, oh, it's peppermint because one of the consumable items is a peppermint stick. And then you'd scratch this and you're like, what's this? And you're like, it's puke because one of the enemies is a pile of puke.
That's it.
Like, why am I smelling this? Why are you?
So, are you telling us this is the millennial version of any flavor beans or every flavor beans?
Yeah.
That's what
before Harry Potter did it. Yeah,
you can't smell anything on the internet. And I know there was that company that tried to do like a 4D smell a thing where you hook it up, but everyone said it just gave you headaches. Like it was just like pumping incense in the room and giving you headaches.
Yeah, we don't want to smell each other, I think, is the consensus.
No, ever been to a convention, we don't want to smell each other. Just bask in your own stench.
There was one, as a kid, there was one issue, because my brother is 5 years older than me, and so he was into games, and I kind of got into games because of him. And there was this one early issue of Nintendo Power it was Castlevania 2, and it had Simon Belmont on the cover, but it was an actual actor, and he's holding the severed head of Dracula, and there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, why is this the cover and I was like 3, and I'm like, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I want to do video games anymore.
So metal. It's so metal. I love it.
Like it's in hindsight, I'm like, this is cool as hell. But as a child, I was like, this is scary, and I don't think I want to play these anymore.
Yeah, we were talking about it on DevHeads last Friday on like how the games, but it also extends to media. How the media we consumed as kids imprints on us and like changes us, right? That image could have been the catalyst for a child becoming interested in horror as a genre.
Absolutely.
And
really
changing who they become. And I think it's crazy how, people who make media and create it in a way have a responsibility to understand that and that their voices will have an impact on people,
That was with that Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out the other year, and it made like a bunch of money. A lot of people, I didn't think it was a very good movie, but my thing is like, if it is getting kids, if it is a gateway drug for kids to get into horror and for them to be like, oh, maybe I'll watch another horror movie, and then they end up watching The Shining or something, or like, Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's like, okay, then this is doing a good thing. It might not be good, but if this is getting kids into a thing, then I guess I give it a pass.
Yeah,
it's also got Matthew Lillard, who I'm a big Matthew.
Who's
Lillard
a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
big Lillard heads over here. Friend of the podcast, Matthew.
That was actually the original name before Second Wind. We had a couple names tossing around, and Lillard heads was one of them. Got shot down relatively quickly.
But, it did. Along with
only
Jack's
because that was
name.
That was Lillard Head was also the name of my alt grunge band in high school, and we thought the marketing would be
those guys might be a little pissed that you
too much crossover
something without them. Yeah,
right. Lillard Heads. That sounds like a
half of our audience would just be upset that it isn't just grunge music posts.
I had a big magazine subscription or collection as a kid because we had I think my parents were like, well, we just pay. Because they were pretty back in the day. I think it was like $15 or $20 a year. And you could get like a year of Nintendo Power or EGM, and like Nintendo Power, they would have every year you subscribe, you would get a new like strategy guide, and so it'd be like we'd resubscribe in like October or November, and then get the strategy guide for whatever the big fall game was. So it'd be like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or something like that, which was always cool. But just recently, I ended up buying a huge bulk collection of just a bunch of random ass magazines because I'm on eBay. Because I was like, I don't have these anymore, and I kind of miss them. And I was like, here's $50, and they just sent me like like 1,000 pounds of magazines. I'm like, now I have too much clutter. However, I do just like opening them up and seeing like what's going on in here. What were people excited about
Is it like a time capsule for you? Like,
yes, it's absolutely.
Do you look at them and be like, what products are they doing advertising in the margins? What's the kind of the people who are writing in? What are they saying and stuff like that? And the opinions on games and the culture of games.
It was the only way you had to like see things in games at the time. You know, there wasn't the internet. You weren't able to see videos. You could maybe occasionally, if you'd go to like a Best Buy or something, they'd have like a kiosk with demos or with like videos running of things. But even like E3 wasn't streamed. You couldn't see videos of things. It was all these like little, you know, stamp-sized images. And I'd be like, I am excited for Final Fantasy VII, and I don't know what it is, but it looks neat. Well done, magazine.
I miss word of mouth. I miss having conversations with friends in the playground and, you know, people who would come over and they would bring their magazines or, you know, their strategy guides and stuff. And that would spark new conversations and I guess desires for specific games. And you'd want to go check them out because of how your friends were talking about them. And they were more mysterious rather than, just go look up the trailer and instantly form an opinion based on that marketing, right?
Did you guys ever have the liars? Like the liars who would like lie about like a thing in a game, or like, you know, the whole uncle works at Nintendo, but to be like, oh no, I got to the end of the game and you could totally you can make out with the princess. It's great.
Oh yeah. You know, like if you can beat you know, Super Metroid doing this, Samus gets naked. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. 100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you know, pervy ads, like, because that's all we wanted, and we just wanted that. To me, it was like, if we're gonna like move over into kind of like the blending of the magazine and the spaces, like this was a lot of recess time for me. Is like one kid would have either a magazine or a strategy guide, and then there would be like a gaggle, like a huddle, you know, of kids over his shoulder as he slowly turns it. Wait, I didn't finish reading that. Oh, what was that? You know, just we're like tackling each other to all read the one magazine at once because the kid won't let us touch it. Jonathan, I remember you.
Oh no, he's listening.
No, I don't.
He remembers you, Jack, and he feels super guilty, and now he feels even worse.
Yeah, think about it, Jonathan. Think about it.
Think about it, Jonathan. What about the early days of the internet? Did you guys like? I'm also very nostalgic for like the early days of the internet, just when it was like it felt kind of magical. It felt like a frontier that you were going to, and like you'd be like, I guess I'll type this in, I'll see where I go, and it's like, oh, a little community here. That's you're interested in South Park. That's neat. And little gifts to South Park. Oh, that's a little soundbite. I can hear him say, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." That's incredible.
Even though we've kind of created our careers off of it by having this whole space on YouTube to kind of house all of the niches, there was something kind of magical, like you said, of being able to type something in and finding a probably rather shoddily made website that was dedicated to one thing. That felt special, like you were going into like a cave or something. Like it was, I found my people, they're here. You know?
Yeah, I associate that, like when I first got into anime, that was when like coincided with like getting the internet, and I'd be like, oh, there's other people who wanted, and I've talked about this, how I joined a Gundam Wing, like a chat room where we would role play. And we would like be a character, and it sounds like as a child I'm being preyed upon, but it wasn't. It was like we pretended which character we would be, and I would be Zex Marquise, the pilot of Tall Geese, and then suddenly someone would be like, I just broke up with my girlfriend. I was like, you guys have girlfriends? That's crazy. I didn't know.
Oh, you're gods. Oh my God. How did you do it?
Broke up with my girlfriend because I said I want to hang out with the boys in the Gundam room. This 12-year-old kid in Wisconsin who really wants to role play.
The worst reason to break up with your girlfriend. We just need to say that, like, we're all here for you to be in the Gundam room with us, the Gunga room with us. We're all here with Boss Snass or whatever his name is, but like the worst reason to break up.
Oh no! I have Gundams up there. I am that guy.
Not your Gungans. I
didn't break up when I was 12 to go in the Gung room, Jack.
There was also a thing. There was this thing called Camp Hyrule that was held every year. And it started in like 96 or 97, and Nintendo would hold it. And I don't know how official Nintendo. I feel like Japan Nintendo did not have a hands on it, because Japan Nintendo would be like, no, there's going to be like child predators in here and we can't allow this. But it was like limited to like 2,000 or 3,000 people, and you could sign up, and it was this week-long like virtual chat room activity center thing, all centered around Nintendo games with different activities for Nintendo games. Ooh. And you do these like little mini games online that would unlock, like, here's like whatever at the time was like a high-res picture of like something from Majora's Mask or something. And then there'd be these events where it's like, oh no, all of Yoshi's eggs went missing, you need to find them. And so you'd like click around the site and try to find all the eggs. And at the end of every camp session, something would destroy the camp, and it would tie into like whatever the Nintendo game at the time was. So it was like, oh, Majora's Mask, the moon is falling, and then the moon just crashed in, and everyone's like, all right, see you next summer, everybody. It was great. It wasn't a real camp.
Are you telling me they always left off on apocalypse, or like...
everything? Yeah, it would be like, oh no, the volcano exploded. All right, see you guys next summer.
Bye. Wait,
bye everyone. It was strange. For a while, I thought I made it up. You know, one of those memories where I was like, this wasn't a real thing. This is like a thing that I dreamt. But no, it turns out it was real.
And like for me, if we're talking early days of the internet, it was all GameFAQs. GameFAQs, just me doing like the hard math on the, okay, if I'm in this region in Pokemon Emerald or whatever, right? What are the spawn rates for what Pokemon? How long do I need to circle in this grass area to know which, I was literally on GameFAQs doing math about how long I think I would have to stay in a particular area.
Sometimes I'd click on guides just to admire the ASCII art. I was like, man, you created the whole logo and using just weird slashes, forward slashes, backslashes, and dollar signs.
The amazingness of like the jank of early GameFAQs, where it was just text for 3,000. Oh, thank you, Eric.
Literally.
Goddamn.
For 3,000 pages, but then you learn how to navigate the text using Control F. I do this and this,
For me,
I spent a lot of time.
When I was younger, it was just, how can I get a hold and play as many games as I can? Because like you said, Jack, you don't have access to a lot of your own money when you're a child. So it was just, how can you get that? And I had two ways. It was even my family members dealt them to me like drugs. Like,
sure,
I had cousins who would bring their like CRT TV to my grand's house and copies of Grand Theft Auto, and then would let me watch while they played, but I had to sit a certain distance away. I think it was a weird power trip. Because I was really young, so they would be like, this is an adult game, so you've got to go over there, right? Like, you can't like directly watch. So I would watch from like, a few meters away and be like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then they'd be like, oh, well, we have 3 of them. Maybe you can have one if you go get me a drink. And I'm like, I'll get you a drink.
Yes.
I'm like fucking 4 or something.
You're
right?
like R2-D2 on the sail barge for like, why are you getting Java drinks? R2.
Yeah. So they'd either like deal them to me, like a shady deal. And I would have to I remember hiding Grand Theft Auto Vice City under my pillow at my grand's house so she wouldn't see I had it. I would like sleep with it. I was a dumbass, clearly. And the other ways are, I never had a PC when I was growing up, like a PC that could play games. I wish I did, but I did not. So my gran would have one, and I would go on her computer and just try and find games. But finding games that ran on her terrible dial-up like PC was a nightmare. Yes. And I really want chat to help me with this. I played a game on her computer, which was a weird like anime browser game where it was like an RPG, but you could become a werewolf or a vampire, like go in different clans. And if you went left, you became a vampire. If you went right, you became a werewolf. I need you guys to find it because it's one of those lost media things in my brain.
Was it just like a Twilight tie-in Flash game?
No, this was like early 2000s stuff. Like, it was very weird. I can't remember what it was. Can you guys find me that vampire werewolf RPG browser game, please?
Someone said Adventure Quest. If someone already found it, that would be just shocking. Several people have said Adventure Quest.
At me in our Discord. Go in the Windbreaker.
Everyone is saying Adventure Quest. They already found it.
Oh my
Adventure.
god.
Okay, well, carry on, guys.
Next
I'm gonna look
design
this up
delve,
quickly.
Adventure Quest. Oh, you're
Yeah,
just
here we
gonna
go.
stop the podcast now? You're just gonna
And go
Yeah, I'm
play
gonna go
Adventure
play
Quest.
it. You guys carry on.
play
I'm playing
Adventure
Adventure Quest.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I also in like pre-internet and in terms of physical spaces, I do like I miss video stores, both in movies obviously, but in terms of games as well. Like there was a tactile nature of, and again, this also sounds like old men being like back in my day, but like there was something that felt nice about just like browsing the racks of a video store or a bookstore or anything like that, and like physically touching everything and then being like, okay, I'm going to take this home tonight. And when you were a kid being like, all right, this is going to be my weekend. Like, I hope this is a good decision. And
Yeah.
you know, whether it was a movie or a game, and you know, sometimes you got something where you're like, oh, this is incredible. And then other times you'd be like, this was really bad. And this does not bode well for the weekend.
This game is really bad, but I've already spent $8 to rent it, and I have 3 days to play as much as I can, and I have no other games, so I guess I am playing Gex.
I've got something to admit, guys.
Oh no.
And this hurts me to say. That was Dark Souls for me. I rented Dark Souls from a Blockbuster. Because I went in and I was like, I've heard of a hard game called Dark something. It's meant to be really difficult, and I'd like to play it. And then they rented Darksiders to me, and I was very disappointed when I got home. But anyway, went back and got Dark Souls because I told them it was wrong. And when I was younger, I couldn't get out of the asylum or like in Undead Burg.
Sure.
It was just too much for me. And like back then, as we all know, Dark Souls was very revolutionary in a lot of ways. There weren't many games like that, and it hurt my brain. And I tried to play it all weekend and just couldn't do it. I was just like, oh, this game's rubbish. But then went back to it, you know.
There was one nice thing about cartridge games like the Super Nintendo and N64 where that you could rent a game and all of a sudden there'd be a save file on there that was like halfway through the game. And you're like, oh, I can spend the last day to see what the later part of this game is going to be like. Or yeah, I think I wrote about how when I rented Earthbound, I think a character's name was just Fart. Like the save file was just named Fart. I was like,
it was because I edited your
That's right. That was the Tunic
your video on
I
it, and you specifically said, "Could you make your save file called Fart?" Yeah,
because it was like, I want someone in my town had a very good sense of humor naming their character Fart.
Yeah,
and I want to know who it was. Yeah,
I mean, you know, like we're trying not to be old men, Marty and I, the old men here. But like there is something to be said, like just mathematically about like where the zeitgeist was, right? Because there were fewer things, and there was a focused zeitgeist. Magazines were probably only talking about the 1 or 2 big releases every year. You know, we are in a lovely, lovely time now where there's so many games to play and there's so many wonderful things to play, but nothing can capture. You know, we live in a glittering age. No one thing can capture any the cultural attention. But back in the day, there could be that one thing that everyone was talking about. That one thing where if you went to school, fucking everyone was talking about Ocarina of Time. That's it.
Yeah,
no other game existed. And that was really special.
Yeah. Whereas now, like, it's dumb to complain about because it's like, oh, we have we have infinite things to do. But like, I just like 20 minutes before this podcast, all of a sudden, this game I had on my wish list called Super Dungeon Muncher went on sale on Steam. So Super Dungeon Muncher. I'm putting the link in the chat for everyone. Super Dungeon Muncher. Oh, why am I logged in as me as Second Wind? Oh, that's weird. Apologies.
that's fine.
I don't know. That's magical. Super Dungeon Muncher, and I was like, well, it's $2.99. It's on sale. I have to buy it.
Yeah.
And so I bought Super Dungeon Muncher. Will I play it? I don't know. Am I going to spend the rest of the afternoon Dungeon Munching?
You better be.
Dungeon Munching?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm gonna Dungeon Munch. This might be a Jack game. You might Dungeon Munch.
I have the link open right now and I'm looking at it. Holy moly!
You might be a Dungeon Muncher.
I'm 100% a Dungeon Muncher. Also, that does sound like a sex thing, and I need to let everyone know I'm 100% a Dungeon Muncher. If you know,
I'm a bit of a closet Dungeon Muncher.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a safe space.
Yeah.
It's a safe space.
Okay, I'll admit it to you guys. I'm a Dungeon Muncher. Yeah.
It's for your Dungeon Munching. So
I'm just scared of what my mum will think.
That was like it's very different from everyone being excited, like you said, for the entire year because the new Mario game's coming out or the new Zelda game's coming out.
I think we're in an age of hipsters. I feel we do have that, we do have those. I think Elden Ring DLC is kind of proof of this. For the week that it was out, it was on everyone's minds and everyone was playing it, to the point where Final Fantasy 14, probably the biggest or second biggest MMO of all time, delayed their release so people could play the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
But it's either you're playing it and you're enjoying it, or everyone else I've spoken about, if they're not playing it, they hate it and they're being a bit of a hipster. They're like, I don't care about that, you know. So I think we're in the age of hipsters, because there's so much other stuff. They've got other stuff to play. It's not the thing that
there's dungeons to munch. What are you doing?
There's dungeons to munch. I don't need to go into.
I mean, technically, I feel like Dark Souls.
We already said if you're not gonna be in the thing because you have a girlfriend, we don't need to keep bringing it up. I mean, I think hipsters have always existed in this regard, right? When Ocarina of Time was all that the kids talked about, you know that there was some dickhead in class who was like, what game came out when Ocarina came out? That was like
64,
or like Doom, or like Doom 1, where they're like, only real kids play, Doom. My uncle showed me whatever,
Only real gamers play Diddy Kong Racing. You pussy.
I like the idea that like everyone's talking about Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and there's one person who's like, no, I just play Clay Fighter. You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know about Clay Fighter.
You guys play Clay Fighter 63 and a fourth, because like that I think really upped the ante as far as running on the N64.
Yeah. What a silly time to be alive. Did you guys ever go to midnight launches? That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like those really do those exist. I feel like I just buy all my games online, so I don't know.
Not anymore. All the game stores I know are all closing. I will sell like horrible tat.
Which is my friends and I slept outside of a Target overnight to get the first copy of the Nintendo Wii.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful, wonderful time. Everyone had brought with them their like DSs, and we were like playing Mario Kart. Other people brought GameCubes and TVs to like plug in outside of Target, because we slept outside of a Target overnight, and it was a beautiful, wonderful, stupid time. It was a stupid thing to do because like it was Target, but
Yeah. Mine did World of Warcraft releases. I did some of the Battlefields. Like I really liked Battlefield when I was younger. So I did some midnight releases of those and got like special editions and stuff. There was something special about it, like going it for a kid, right? Being late, that's one thing that's just special to be out in town, going to the store really late. Then being surrounded by people which you knew were there for the same thing.
Yes.
It's, like for teenagers, I guess going to a concert is kind of a similar experience. Like, people are here because they enjoy the same music as you. And I feel there's something special about that. And midnight releases were that for me. And it was just like, I'm going to get this game and be able to, go home and play it. Or as I'm sure we were all the same, when you'd get a game, read the back of the box or the manual repeatedly until you got home.
Yeah. And then you get home and you're like, I stayed up until 1 a.m. to get this. I'm just tired. I want to go to bed now.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just go and get this in the morning?
Yeah.
The only two midnight releases I remember this would have been right around the same time as the Wii one, but I did the 360 one. I guess so it was the year before that. I just remember it was also in November, so it was just really cold. I remember like halfway through the night being like, this is stupid. Like, it is very cold. It is Wisconsin in the winter. Why are we doing this?
Which console for you guys was the one that was the most special to get? Because, like, for me,
good question.
There was one that I was really excited about, which was the 360.
Okay.
I'd heard so much about it, and at that point, I was just playing games on my, my PS2, my N64, my SNES, and stuff like that, because I played a whole range of things. But the 360 was the one that I was really excited to get and couldn't get for a long time because, unfortunately, my family were quite poor when we were growing up. So getting a new console was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up getting one because my mom was like, she just wanted to get me and my sister something like extra special because of a situation she was in. She was like, I'll buy you anything. Go into this store and I'll buy you anything. So I went to like the black edition of the Xbox 360, like the elite version, and was like, I'll have this as a joke. And she went, okay, and picked it up. and it was like the most special thing to me. Like, I was taking the piss, right? But
yeah, because you assumed it would have been like a DVD or something.
Yeah, right. And she was being real. I could have anything. So for me, the 360 was a special like console for me to get. Do you guys have the console that you were most excited to get?
A refrigerator? I need to get something more expensive than this.
Honestly, I don't mean to like enforce gender stereotypes, but my sister got a pair of hair straighteners.
Oh.
But they were very expensive, really good hair straighteners.
But also, but like something that make them feel good about themselves. That is a cost, right? Like,
and guess
this
what?
is something
I was
that
an emo child when I was a teen. I used those hair straighteners, so.
Thanks, or it didn't happen. Picks or it didn't happen, Jay. I
got straight hair and got to play 360.
Okay.
I'm winning.
Our next stream goal is so that Jay can show pics of him in his emo phase.
Oh my god, dude. Guys, Marty and Jack, so this can be a goal. I will show you some of those pictures. You will be shocked.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad.
This is incredible.
Hold on, this gives me Marty. You can tell about your console while I write down an important idea for a new show, or an important idea for a new show that we're already working on.
Is the show called Remember When We Had Hair?
No, the show is a show that we are currently working on, and I just thought of an interesting challenge.
Here we go.
Yeah, mine would have been probably the N64, because we were like a similar thing where I was like, we moved right around then, and so I think my parents knew that kids when they move they get a little nervous having to go to different school and everything, and so they got us, my brother and I, an N64 right at launch. I remember just playing Mario 64, and that was also like Mario 64 was one of those like, oh my god, everything's different now moments, and so I feel like the N64 was probably the most special. Yeah. I was not emo at the time. No, my emo phase was later than the N64.
You weren't seeing the N64 with one eye because of your fringe.
Yeah, and for me, it would be the first console that I purchased with my own money, using my money that I earned both as a birthday clown and a wedding DJ, was the GameCube. And my friends had GameCubes, and if you guys, if y'all remember that, the GameCube had limited like LAN support. Mm-hmm. And so, we could play 8-player Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mind blown.
Which was mind blown. And so that was the console that basically outside after high school was all me and my friends played. Was just, Double Dash and Smash Bros. And just GameCube. And it was special because, I always got, secondhand the worst of the consoles. I got the Sega Saturns. I got, probably a Sega CD at one point instead of a PlayStation. Or I would have to wait until the the N64 was well into its life cycle to get the Super Nintendo.
Sure.
And so this was like, oh, I can have a thing now because I made enough balloon animals at children's birthday parties.
Yeah. And did you ever get those two jobs mixed up and do like a birthday DJ and a wedding clown?
All right, anyone have any reason why this?
Honk, honk.
It's everybody. It's time for the wedding march.
Oh my god!
But you got a GameCube out of it. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
So you got a GameCube out of it.
Beautiful purple GameCube that I still have to this day.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch on, or do you want to jump to super chats? Because there's a bunch of super chats that touch on a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about. So,
I guess one would be like we were talking about like outlets and like things we would go to. Not to be masturbatory, but it's funny to think that one of mine was The Escapist.
Oh wow!
Like back in the day, and I would get a lot of my singular, opinion pieces from the Escapist. A lot of the places I would go, I'd go to some places like IGN and GameSpot and stuff like that, and just get my general information, but the Escapist was the place where I would get to know the personalities, like Stephanie Sterling and, Yahtzee and stuff like that. And that's what made me stay. And I just think it's kind of wild that I then ended up working there and then it became this.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's surreal.
That's beautiful. I think, like as much as we're going to old man about how times used to be good, I would like to make sure that like I say specifically, I love where we are now.
Oh yeah.
Because you can find a YouTuber who makes like a video on one really weird small genre of games and just interact with them in their chat, and it is exactly your pace and your crowd. And you just couldn't find, like, because you don't have the internet. If you couldn't find a kid who was into, whatever, or if you tried to join a Dungeons and Dragons group and they all didn't want to teach you how to play and you had to, kick rocks or whatever. But now we have the internet. Now we have these spaces where we can just talk about stupid bullshit. And there's going to be someone who wants to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
And how appreciative I am that we have this space to watch other people play video games and be funny because we don't necessarily I think a lot about like a YouTuber I watch is Josh Strife Hayes, and he covers a lot of MMOs, which is not a game genre that I will ever play, but I love hearing him talk about it, where it's like, I understand more about this now because we have that space. Just to see the other side of the world. So great job, internet. Sometimes.
Yeah. There's as weird of an idea as you could think of. There's someone on the internet probably making a video about that. I shared a video with the chat a few days ago, and I think in Discord too. A YouTuber I like called Any Austin, who made a video. I'm just always second wind here. I'm just never going to be mean. I don't know why.
That's okay. Yes, Any Austin is a wonderful tuber. Yeah.
And he made this video that I shared about where do the rivers in Hyrule come from and go. And he did a similar video in Skyrim where he like tried to figure out like using actual like science, actual geography. But he's super entertaining, and he like has all these like interesting theories about this, and I learned a little bit. And it was also like wandering around my favorite game worlds of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So I thought it was absolutely a great video that, again, in those quote unquote halcyon days of the 90s, there was no outlet for someone to make something like that.
I watched a video today about somebody saying that the fog in Coraline is alive and is the main villain, and that is one of the most niche, batshit crazy things I've ever heard. And I was like, I watched the entire thing, and I came out kind of agreeing, and I was like, wow, maybe I should have done something else, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fog in Coraline. I like it.
So yeah, just like we can enjoy kind of our past and our liminal spaces and our tactile things, which I always prefer tactile things, but also like recognizing how good we have it now, where we can play Super Dungeon Muncher. That's a game that might not have been able to exist before because no major publisher would put the money into making that game. But now game development is a little more democratized. So hell yeah.
Pro munching here. You guys want to munch on through some of these super chats?
Yeah, let's dunge munch through some of these money givers.
Dunge munch. Dr. Theo, right off the bat with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Not to go all quote, I was born in the wrong era, but a part of me wishes I would have experienced those magazines for the first time as a kid. Yeah, I think every generation kind of has a nostalgic era of like, oh man, it was so much better beforehand. Like, imagine what it would have been like there. And, I'm sure there's people now who are thinking about 10 years ago like that. And 10 years from now, people will be thinking about now like that. I don't know who would want to be in now right now, but
just remember, for all the beautiful things we had, for all the Zeitgeist, we also had a shit ton of gatekeepers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Reflexes of a Dead Cat with a $20 dono. Thank you so much. This topic really hits home for me, not only because growing up in that era, but my father was the original editor for EGM. Being able to see the video game journalism begin and the raw passion everyone had playing/writing still inspires me. That's incredible. Was that in Illinois? Without doxing yourself or your father, I believe it started like in the Chicago suburbs.
Oh, neat.
And then Reflex with another $10 followed it up. My favorite quote of his was when they first started up. It was, quote, give me guys who could play games. I could teach them how to write.
Oh, very nice.
There you go. Lombard, Illinois. That's right. Look at that. I remember EGM issue 100 had a like behind the scenes for their 100th issue, like a bunch of here's what the office looks like and here's what we do and here's what goes into like making an issue of the magazine. And that was the thing that got me into being like, I remember like distinctly going to my mom and being like, this is what I want to do. Can we go down to Illinois and can I do this? And she was like, well, no, because you're like 9. But, you just keep writing and trying hard and everything. And look, now we write book reports about toys. So look at us. Prof, thank you so much for the dono. Loved Computer for Allah in the 90s. Had a demo CD. There was a bunch of European magazines we just don't know about. Oh, demo discs. Oh, those demo discs. Let me tell you.
Demo discs. They were so special. And speaking to being poor when growing up, demos were so important. I remember going to my cousins' houses and just replaying demos on the PS3 just because we couldn't afford the game, so we would just play their hour-long demos. I remember Skate, the original Skate had like an hour-long demo where you could just play, and we would just repeatedly play that. Or there was a game, I think it's called like Wreck or like Destroy or something. You throw a crash test dummy into buildings and destroy stuff.
Jimmy, that's Pain, and Nick brings it up every week on Firelink.
Really?
Nick would be so I played the demo a lot if you talked about Pain with him.
Oh my god, I might just have to. Yeah. I played the demo a lot as a kid. And Hard Boiled something. The John
Woo's
game.
Hard Boiled? Stranglehold?
Like,
John Woo
Stranglehold maybe. There's like a John Woo game and the demo.
Face Off. It's called Face Off.
John Woo Stranglehold.
Face Off.
You take your face.
The game starred Chow Yun-Fat, who starred in Hard Boiled and The Killer.
Okay, yeah. So there was a demo of that, which was the first mission, and we would play that over and over. It's just demos are really important for giving people with less means a chance to play and experience at least a small percentage of the games.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that's underappreciated for demos.
That's why I don't knock free to play games, because I'm like, if I was a pretty poor kid growing up, and if I would have had access to like Genshin Impact, which like you can get like 50, 100 hours of entertainment without spending a dime, Fortnite, that kind of thing. So I never yucked the yum of those free to play games. I get that could be a slippery slope to like predatory business practices, but that can also be a lot of free entertainment for someone who needs it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. Fox D with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Fox D. Nintendo Power spotlighting games like SimCity and Aerobiz on the SNES ensured I wouldn't outgrow games and turned me into the sim gamer I am today. Look at that. Thank you, Nintendo Power. Thank you, Editor-in-Chief Miyamoto-san. I don't think he was the editor-in-chief of that magazine. Pure Pyro with a €2 dono. Thank you so much. Loved my Dino Crisis / Metal Gear Solid / Spyro / Tony Hawk demos. I think that was the Pizza Hut demo. I have fond memories of the Pizza Hut PS1 demos. You get a pizza and they give you a disc.
That demo is so stacked.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you get pizza.
And
what's good?
The best pizza, Pizza Hut pizza.
You're fed so you can sustain yourself to play more demos.
Hell yeah.
No one out pizzas the Hut.
Yeah. Pizza Hut had demo discs, and if you read enough books, you get free pizza. Pizza Hut was there for when children needed to read and play video games.
And make us obese.
And make us obese. But hey, they had a salad bar.
It's the American dream.
Truly the American dream right there. Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Who's the new guy in the bottom left corner? Real funny, Fungus Finder, because I haven't been here. I haven't been on a stream in a week. But it's me. I'm back.
It's you.
I'm back.
Welcome back, dude.
Bajango with a $2 dono. Speaking of, Marty didn't die. That's good. That's a great comment. It would have been sad if you were like, Marty didn't die. Aw, shucks. That would have been real sad.
We're very happy Marty didn't
Maybe
die.
next time.
I'm also very happy Marty didn't die. Abdel Corrales, thank you so much for the donor. Here's some money for Marty's cough medicine. It was a bad time to cough. It was just a terrible time to cough. And Tabasco with a €5 dono. Thank you so much. Shout out to K-Zone magazine in Australia. Always snuck one with me when shopping through the checkout. Oh, see if like a mom or dad wouldn't notice if you you put this in between like the eggs and the flour. Oh, where did that come from?
Someone plops down like the gossip magazine and you quick slide it under to be like, well, if you're getting a gossip mag, I'm getting a gossip mag. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta see what the scuttlebutt is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Squirtle Squad 420 blazing it. Thank you so much being an ad-free podcast. I added the blazing it. The Squirtle Squad 420 was
okay.
The main thing I remember from my PC gaming mag was the full page American McGee's Alice ads. They were creepy as hell for a 10 to 12-year-old me. These ads, I want to get to the bottom of like what was going on. Like was all advertising scary in the 90s? I don't remember that. I remember like the Coca-Cola bear. He was nice. Like right.
I think it's this. A semi-scary, edgy advertisement appeals to a teenage market, but it also slightly scares a younger one. But that fear is an emotion that's so new to a lot of kids that it entices them, and it wants them to think about it. So I think it does two things and hits two demographics just in different ways.
If you feel like you shouldn't be looking at something, I shouldn't, but I am.
When I used to watch my VHSs when I was a kid, because I'm obsessed with film. Like I studied it before I went into the games, and I used to obsessively watch movies as a child on VHS. And my mom had a glass cabinet of movies that I wasn't allowed to touch. Like they were mature movies and scary ones. And I remember one day my mom was out and we had a babysitter, and I went in there and I watched a movie, and I watched Cape Fear when I was like 5.
Oh no.
And I shouldn't have watched it. I shouldn't have been watching it. But it felt naughty. Like I felt like I was being bad. And there's something about that feeling, like it's enticing. And if we can do that with a game that isn't about biting chunks out of people's faces, a little bit more healthy, you know?
There you go.
No, I don't know if that's more healthy, but yeah. It's the same principle. Entice people. Yeah. You're doing something naughty, but doesn't that feel good? Do
you think Scorsese intended 5-year-olds to watch Cape Fear?
I think 100%. Scorsese made that movie for me. I don't know what you're on about.
100%.
It's for you and you alone.
Yeah, that's why you put a roller coaster in it.
Because I famously love roller coasters, right, Jack?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Tommy Salty, thank you so much for this vote. I'm nostalgic for the Polish 90s gaming magazines. One still runs, CD Action. I waited for the next issue to see what was up, read every review. I am old. No, that was exciting. That was the equivalent of checking in on podcasts and streams and going to IGN or whatever, like when those didn't exist. They had these gaming magazines. It was great. Little pics. Little pics. God loves it. God knows kids love a little pic. Just a little pic. A little picture. Just a little picture. Just a little pic. Just a little super dungeon munching. Fox D. I'm shocked I remember that game's name and that I didn't screw it up. So I'm proud of myself. Fox D with another $5. It was right around the time in 1989 when my brother and I beat Contra in co-op without dying. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA unnecessary. Yeah, cheats. I'm telling you, cheats. That was the way to go. Did you ever have like a Game Shark or anything? A Game Genie? Any of those? That felt a little too illicit to me.
I had one,
and I could never figure out how to get it to work. I don't know if it was broken or if I was so dense I could not figure it out, but I never got any of the cheats to work, and it still upsets me to this day.
It was another one of those illegal contraband items that my cousins gave to me when I was a kid, along with a lot of mature games that I shouldn't have been playing.
Your cousins are these like black market dealers in the store.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Alex Armstrong with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Mine is Game Informer because I didn't know of gaming forums / websites at the time, and game cheap books I still got from book fairs and garage sales. Good times. Yeah, Game Informer was huge too because it would be like you'd go to like a GameStop or whatever, and when they were tied in, and be like, oh, for $20 a year, you can also get money off your games. And so I was like, well, that seems like a good thing. And it was also a little bigger, a little wider. Yeah. Had nice covers. They had like cool artwork on covers. Like people put thought into like making a cover look rad.
Yeah.
Do I have one?
Oh, wait.
No, I'm just looking for something. Carry on.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
bye.
I missed. There's like, I guess he's gonna munch a dungeon. He's gonna absolutely munch a dungeon right now.
Jay, don't you munch any dungeons. Don't you do it.
Dungeon. Don't you feed Ludo any dungeons to munch. Fox D with a $2 dono. Still the proudest moment of my gaming life. Beating Contra without cheats. There's certain games I just assumed were impossible. There was like a Star Wars Return. There was a New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back games for the Super Nintendo that were just the hardest games ever. And I was like, I don't think anyone ever beat these without cheats, but it's fine.
Probably
Did you find it?
No.
It's fine.
I have a bunch of Game Informer magazines, like stocked up. I think they might be in storage, but I have a bunch with covers, specifically covers that I collected because I love the covers so much.
Oh, nice.
And I just couldn't find them because I guess I'm just useless.
Oh.
So let's continue.
You know who doesn't think you're useless? Potato Hermit. Because he just resubbed in the tip jar, so might think you're
Legend.
useless, but there's no way.
Enjoy Design Delve.
And then Urban M with another 100 zloty. Also, a lot of action for the Polish magazine CD action. Both Tommy Sulky and Urban M like it. Magazine of my childhood in Poland, CD action went all the way from birth to being the top best-selling monthly gaming mag to being a quarterly release, crowdfunded after many ownership changes. I still subscribe after 30 years. Oh, that's cool. It still exists.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, support creators that you like.
Yeah.
Quintuple A with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Jack. Your responses this weekend were great. It just goes to show you that the improv comedian is always the most well-adjusted of any of us.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
I'm as shocked as you are.
It remains surprised. But I definitely I appreciate that as especially as folks like Jay was traveling overseas to an event and I was literally dead. I appreciated you jumping in.
Massively.
The important thing in any situation is active listening, right? Is being able to like pause and actually like hear something and take it and utilize that feedback. And sometimes that's really hard for people, right? Is like, oh, I'm perfect. Why are you telling me? Oh, no, feedback, right? So that's an improv, a pillar of improv is active listening.
That's how we grow. You know,
that's
how we grow, and that's what we're in the process of. It's what all humans are in the process of all the time until you die. So
and then your fingernails just keep growing.
You know? Yeah, fingernails don't listen to shit.
Yeah. I'm the Wolverine. Django with a $10 dono. Thank you so much, Django. Back in my day, I used to beg my mom for PC gaming magazines because they'd have the latest news on No One Lives Forever and the quote coconut monkey discs for games my cheap gateway couldn't run. What's the coconut monkey discs? What do you think's going on over there with the coconut monkey? I guess that was always one of the things with PC demo disc would be like, can my computer run this?
Sacrifice? Do you kill something and the coconut monkey puts the spirit in your computer? Because that thing is messed up.
Fucking what?
Look at that, man. Jack, look at that image. That thing.
I was not. I was looking at the chat. I'm sorry. That's terrible.
That thing has consumed souls.
Why doesn't the coconut money host the Summer Game Fest and all that stuff? Bring back Coconut Monkey. And Alex Armstrong with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Also, PlayStation Underground demo discs. So fun. Yeah, those were great. Again, for free or a small amount of money, you get a little demo disc that would allow you'd get a ton of know if you really want to get a game, but B, you'd be like, well, I can spend all weekend just playing like an hour of each of these games and have a great time.
Yep.
Nando Calrissian, cheeky little Nando with a $5 dono, and I don't know why this is only directed towards me, but I'll take it. Marty, I'm moving to Milwaukee next week for a master's program. I want to know where you recommend eateries and booze and things to do. Love, y'all. Nando, I have some answers for you. However, one of us on this panel lives in Milwaukee and is there right now, and it is Jemate. Jemate, what is your favorite thing to do in Milwaukee?
Go touch the Fond statue's balls. Is that in Milwaukee?
That's in Milwaukee. Yeah.
That's in Milwaukee.
Okay. Go rub his brass balls. On the corner of 8th Street, there's a really good Parmesan shop. It's full of gymnasts. Go there, and if you say the secret word Dunge Munchers. They'll let you in the back, and it's a speakeasy. That's a good place.
By the way,
kind of like how you get into the safe house.
There is a spy themed bar called the Safe House that you have to say a secret password to get in. So
well, there we go. Jack, please take over. My God.
Obviously, first of all, welcome. My favorite city in the world. That's why I choose to keep living here. There's amazing, fantastic eateries. Pizza, you go to Classic Slice or you go to Transfer, both fine pizzas. You go to the Sausage Bar, which is called
Vanguard.
Vanguard, thank you. You go to Vanguard, which is a delicious and beautiful sausage bar, also a wrestling themed bar. If you're into wrestling, they show all the pay-per-view events. You go to Cafe Lulu, you get the Mooney Tuna, not named after Darren Mooney.
Should be.
Which is a tuna sandwich that will blow the socks and sandals right off of you. A fantastic place.
You're named after Aaron Mooney? No relation.
It's named after the turtle Aaron Mooney. No relation.
Sorry, Jermaine. I'm sorry I brought up a sticky subject.
I will leave.
Talk to people who kill me.
This will be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
So there's so many, you go to delicious coffee shops. As far as drinks, I'm a little out of the know there, but literally you just go to any hipster bar here and they will have 30 to 40, craft brewery drinks. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Wisconsin, and especially in Milwaukee, you're at no loss to find a bar. Yeah. It's great. Thank you so much, Nando, and welcome to Milwaukee. Sovereign with a €50 dono. I don't know if that's
is
that euro pound? No,
up or down. Yeah,
we're good. €50 dono. Thank you so much, Sovereign. All the cold medicine's finally kicking in. Good to see that you guys are doing all right after a challenging previous week. I think you handled it well. Also, RIP Game Informer, end of an era. Was never a big magazine reader myself, but I loved poring over game strategy guides when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone has those, right? Strategy guides were just something like they just felt nice, and it felt like a lot of care was put into them. There was like they put in a lot of work. Until you got to a certain era, I'm always going to bring this up. The Final Fantasy IX strategy guide would give you half of the tips for something, and then start like pushing their website. And so they'd be like, in order to beat the boss's second phase, please go to playonline.com/Final Fantasy IX in order to see what the boss is weak to. And you're like, why would you do that? That doesn't seem like something you should do.
Yeah. I'm not too sure on that. I always found it was nice because you would get a lot more information out of a strategy guide that the game isn't delivering you. Like, oh yeah, this is how you complete this mission, but if you look in this drawer, like the Oblivion strategy guide was like this. It would be like, here's how you do the mission, but in this drawer, this person is holding a special sword, and if you go into this room, you can go get it. What? Holy shit! I have it behind me.
Do you actually?
Because we've seen this before, Jay. You've spoofed us before.
Yeah, no, he's actually got it. He's actually got it. He didn't lie this time.
No, I genuinely have this. I won't go to an actual page, but it would do stuff like that, and it was just so nice to read, and it would also inform me of things that I wanted to do, like kind of similar to the cheat books. I'd be like, oh, let's see what quests look interesting, and where do you go to get them, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because I guess I just couldn't go do it myself because I'm a twat.
Sure. Yeah. We didn't want to be the ones to say it, but you said it, so it's fine. Great. Orange Kitty, thank you so much. Been in the Green Gang. Shout out to the official US PlayStation magazine, OPM. Yeah, there was also back in the day, they all had their own magazines, and they could just review their own games, and they'd sometimes be like, this game wasn't very good. I'm like, can you say that? Are you allowed to
we
say
agree.
That?
We agree with you guys. Yeah, this game.
We know we didn't do a good job. But please buy it anyways because we need our jobs. Darwin's Dummy with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Had Game Informer as a kid to vicariously live games that I couldn't have. Parents Against Violent Ones. Replace it with YouTube playthroughs once YouTube got big. I do think that's a pretty spot on. Like that's where that moved, that mindset you had, Jack, of like, I can't play this game, so I'm going to experience it vicariously through this. That's what Let's Plays are now. You could do, and you could either
and
watch
even
a full
strategy
play
guides,
or watch someone else. Yeah.
Like you can look up cheats or, like how to do the Dark Souls, Infinite Soul glitch and, like do all that fun stuff. And because someone did it in a YouTube Let's Play, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there are certain things where it's like, oh, I would rather just give this to me in text form, because it's just like, how many of this thing do I need? And you could tell me I need 15 of it. But then there's other things of like, where do I go after this? And I would rather just watch a video to be like, oh, okay, it's that door, and then you go down those stairs. Because if you're trying to describe most game worlds to me, I'm just like, I don't know what you're like. Yes. Describe like how to get out of Firelink Shrine, or find a specific item in Firelink Shrine. If you're doing it with your words, I'd be like, what? There's a low wall, and then you got to go here. And what if you see a long-necked cretin coming out of the water? You went too far. You don't want to talk to that man. You see Frampton, you don't want to spend any time with Peter Frampton. I don't like that man. I don't like him at all. Long neck golem. DMB Lon 99, thank you so much, with a $5 dono. Shout out to the old Prima game guides. I still have a very few of the well used. Need to get the new Final Fantasy 9 guide though. If you do, just make sure you have internet access, or else you won't be able to beat all the bosses. Just a little warning.
Just saying.
Witticism with a $10 dono. Thank you so much. A Friends Electronic Gaming Monthly back in 4th grade was my first exposure to gaming journalism, and I've been hooked since. Sad to see Game Informer go. I was subscribed all through my teenage years. It's a bummer. It's a bummer to ever see a website, a channel, a magazine, and anything go. We need more of them, not less of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what word that is.
Fair.
Less or fewer. Yeah. Potato Hermit, thank you so much for the dono. Very relatable, Jack. As a kid, I'd fall asleep reading walkthroughs of games I'd never be able to play until much later. It's funny how much more of those games meant to me when I could actually play them.
Ooh, you know what? But and same with watching YouTube walkthroughs now. Like, you do feel a sense of familiarity, even if you've never picked up a controller and actually been in the game world. Is you just know what's going to happen because you flipped those pages 100%. Makes you feel a little more prepared. It makes you feel like Batman. You're a little more prepared. Putting that out there.
Batman. It's a classic Batman. Rose Delta, thank you so much for the $5 dono. My only games media outlets I followed for the longest time were Machinima, Escapist, and Game Informer. I followed ETC to Internet Today, IG to IG, and y'all to here. Look at that. Follow the ones you like. Bajango with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Bajango. Shout out to the Video Game Historical Foundation for digitizing all the old magazines they collect. Yeah, that's a great resource. I donate to them every month, and in return, I get a random video game magazine every month, which is very exciting. Cool. It just it's like all of a sudden, once a month, an envelope shows up, and I have just an old ass game magazine to read, which I think is delightful.
That's awesome.
And so yeah, I'm still second win. When am I going to be me again?
Never. You're always second win now.
Oh, no. Thank you so much, Bajango. Quintuple A with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Any chance for a special edition for written second win stuff? No plans at the time, but
as in, like, we make a special magazine one-off that
Darren deserves
write articles for.
If one person deserves a magazine, Darren Mooney deserves a magazine.
It's really tough because, written content in general is, getting less and less, popular. And it's like, we have incredibly talented writers here. And we would love a space for that. But, the cost offset of having a place to put all of that content is tricky to figure out. So maybe is the answer. How do you feel about maybe?
Yeah, there you go. That's where we'll unveil pics of emo Jamate.
Emo Jamate.
Yeah, you guys are honestly not prepared. I will show you two a snippet of this.
No, don't. You cannot show it to me. I have a plan. Do not show it to us at all. I have a plan.
Okay.
I love this. Smice Audio with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Man, I miss Nintendo Power. I have to admit, though, that these days, unfortunately, it would not have the same impact as it did in the heyday. Yeah, I think part of that was just like we talked about. There was just not a lot of places to go to. Now there's like infinite websites and streams and podcasts and videos and everything. Whereas then you just generally had like a handful of things to go to, and so it feels like once a month it was like a very special little drop in your life that would give you a new knowledge. Whereas now we're just inundated with knowledge. We're still dumber than ever. I'm sorry.
No. We're remember to be specific here. We are inundated with information. What we don't have is knowledge. Knowledge is information plus experience. We have so much information, but no knowledge.
That was beautiful. That was wise, Jack. Very wise.
Thank you.
Mason Cherrier, thank you so much for a $50 dono. Appreciate it, Mason. I just got in. I'm glad y'all were chill about the stuff brought up by Frost, but it was very serious and grim, and I'm wondering if there'll ever be a more detailed statement going over the accusations. Love y'all, and I really am just concerned.
It's tricky because, obviously it's very... it's not very, it's slightly complex. Again, the answer is maybe. Like, I don't think anything. I mean, obviously, we put out the and for those of you who aren't in our Discord, come into our Discord. For those of you who aren't on our Patreon, we put out a little statement because one of the feedback things that we heard was kind of this ambiguity about how Second Wind runs its business, how we make our decisions. And so we put together like a little thing kind of running you through the business side of Second Wind, which we don't intentionally keep from you. We just think that you'll think it's boring. So like, that wasn't like a, behind a locked door thing. We just didn't think y'all cared until you did. And so we put that out. So as if we hear there is a need for it, absolutely is the answer that I'll give. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, and also like for my 2 cents, we are also in a transitionary period internally for making some shifts on how we make some decisions, and there's going to take a little bit of time to settle for that. And unfortunately,
we've been in that period for a while.
We've been in it for like a few weeks, like nearly 3 weeks. And we're still in that process. So we appreciate all of your patience and understanding from our side and also Frost. So we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Snake of the Garden, been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much, Snake. Shout out to Charlie Booker and the other great writers at PC Gamer back in the day. So many demo CDs. Yeah, that's the other thing is there's some game writers who come on to become big old Hollywood bigwigs. Charlie Booker used to write for PC Gamer. He created Black Mirror. He writes most of the Black Mirror episodes.
Nice.
Gary Whitta was a former game journalist who would go on to write like the Book of Eli and Rogue One and movies like that. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else big. Martin Scorsese he probably wrote for Nintendo Power.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese, big like Amiga games journalist. Yeah. You
want to know who the real Blaster Masters were? The Rolling Stones, in the 70s, and here's why. So that was him talking to us about Blaster Masters. Also, Blaster Master is a cool name for a game. Super Dungeon Muncher and Super Dungeon Muncher, is that what it was called?
Yeah, Dungeon
Muncher.
I think it was.
Blaster Muncher.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And Snake of the Garden with another €2. Thank you so much. Anyone get the Bullfrog games via Kellogg's tokens? Like Bullfrogs as in the Peter Molyneux games? I do remember PC games, there used to be certain things where like if you buy like a couple boxes like Frosted Flakes or something, you can
send away
get, like,
for
a free game.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That sounds like something like Peter Molyneux would release a game that's like exclusive to Lucky Charms cereal or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Classic Peter Molyneux. Hope you're doing well. There used to be a Twitter account called Peter Molyneux that would just tweet things that like fake game ideas from Peter Molyneux. I miss it. Come back when Twitter was good.
Yeah.
Maddie D with a $10 dono. Thank you so much. The glory days of Chex Quest in a cereal box. Yeah, I guess that was Chex Quest, and then those Burger King games were the examples of like the weird corpo tie-in games that you would all have to get from either buying a box of cereal or going to Burger King to get sneaking.
And who wants to go to Burger King?
Flame broiled.
I like Burger King. I'm going to put that out there. It's not my preferred fast food, but Taco Bell.
Oh, you're a T-Bell
I'm
boy.
a Taco Bell boy. Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that dog's still alive, or did he pass away?
Yokera Taco Bell dog?
Yeah, the dog.
I can only imagine that dog is not only passed away, but well passed away.
Oh no, super dead.
Super like died several times over. Yeah.
Oh no, he's big dead.
Chihuahuas do not live for very long.
Yeah.
So
it's all very sad. Thank you so much, Maddie D. Appreciate it. Alex Armstrong with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Funny thing, Jack. In 2007, we had a video game / dance party, and all anyone ever wanted to play was the Halo 3 on console and Pokemon Diamond Pearl on handheld. A little dance party, and everyone just wants to play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
So did they have to dance while playing Pokemon? I don't understand the logistics of that kind of dance party. Do you have to dance with a controller in your hand?
Or is it like the one room there's dancing and the other room there's Pokemon, and you have to choose what kind of a person you are?
And everyone chose Pokemon? Hell yeah.
And everyone chose Pokemon because everyone's like, dancing's dumb. I just want to catch a fucking Snorlax.
Yeah. Love it.
Old Hunter, thank you so much for a $5 dono. When Yahtzee comes back, we should all just act like Dungeon Muncher is some British slang he forgot. Oh, I quit being such a Dungeon Muncher, you get?
Yes. Down.
You're so grumpy because you ain't munching enough dungeons, my boy.
Down.
Thank you so much. The book to hand, Dunkelheit with a €2 dono. Thank you so much. I used to think Jack and Marty were the same guy.
What?
We're not. A lot of people have said that. We don't look alike, and I don't think we sound alike. But maybe we have Wisconsinisms, nasally Wisconsinisms.
I don't know, guys. I think there's some credence to it.
Oh, I think, no. What happened to me?
Eric, you've become Jack.
Became you.
Honestly, Marty, it kind of works, dude. I dig it.
Kind of works. It kind of works.
I sometimes think about it. Would does scratching your head feel really good if it's shaved?
It's especially when it's nice and like right now I need to shave. You can see like I got a little bit of the hairline. When it's nice and smooth, oh yeah, it feels really great. Mm-hmm. Right now though, it looks like we are starting a cult. Yeah, we can't have too many all bald people that work here, or else we are a cult. And so,
yeah, sure. Please leave me be, Eric. Don't make me bald and beardless. I'm clinging on to what little I have left. let me have this.
Pattern Pike with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Pattern Pike. The big playground chat game for me was Call of Duty 5. The expansion map Easter eggs were just intricate enough to spawn all kinds of crazy rumors to test. It was good, and no one that was an era. Well, I guess Call of Duty would have had the internet, but like there was a certain era where it's just like no one could. You could call someone out on their bullshit, but you couldn't prove it. Like you couldn't prove like the whole JD Vance having sex with his couch thing. We can't prove he didn't. Like, so that's
we don't know.
No matter
we'll never know.
We just never know. We just can't prove that he didn't. Like we can
need
prove
like
this one thing is lying.
We need a Minority Report couch fucking psychic team to
fucker just laying in like a pool of like little ectoplasm.
He's fucking the couch. Storm the building.
The cushions are being disrupted. The cushions are being disrupted. The cushions are being disrupted. Yeah.
Probe detected.
Which is fun. That'd be a funny movie for Tom Cruise to be in because he came very close to having sex with that couch on Oprah. Remember?
He did, on Oprah.
Whatever show that was.
It looked like he had jumped on a couch or two in his time, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Hubba, waka waka. Rexelius with a $20 dono. Thank you so much, Rexelius. Super chat on behalf of DMB Law 99 from the Discord. When I was in high school, I became good friends with the employees at GameStop. Seeing the current state of GameStop is one of the biggest blows to my memories. Yeah, I was in a GameStop recently. And again, you work wherever you want. Like, y'all just making money trying to live out here, but it's just all Funko Pops and stuff. Like there's no games. There's like a retro game section. It's like the tiniest, like here's a 360 game. I'm like, this is sad.
Tat. It's tat, but people buy it. People buy tat. Like that's why they're selling it, because it's the only thing they can sell.
Garbage? Is that a term?
Tat is like useless shit. It's all of that, Marty. It's all of that. That's fucking tat. It's shit. You buy it because it reminds you of the thing you like, and you go, yeah, I want that, and then you put it on display, and you go, oh, why am I here? You know,
okay. Does this make me happy?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Fox D, thank you so much for a $5 donor. Midnight releases aren't dead. Hanging around a Discord server for a game that's about to launch on Steam has that same energy, just worldwide. I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never really think about when a game, because usually games launch at like on console at least like at like 11 p.m. And I'm just like, I don't want to start a game at 11 at night. I'll start it at get to bed.
It's like an event.
Early.
I love it. If a game's coming out that I really, really want to play, I'll like set time aside or take time off to be able to stay up late, and it makes me feel like I'm a teen again, right? Like there's a new World of Warcraft expansion coming out this month, and I am extremely excited. And I
feel like MMOs still carry that energy, right? Of like everyone wants to be like the first in the door to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Sure. 100%. Well, but they also have a very strong sense of community, right? Because it's a multiplayer game. Yeah.
Massively multiplayer, actually, Jack.
What?
You should know that from watching.
Is it
Josh Strife High D's boy?
I'm sorry.
I love his content. I just can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, he's great. I think he put out a Devil May Cry 2 video. He's like, what's going on with this game? And it turned out it wasn't very good. Bajango, $10 dono. Thank you so much. Hearing about Ape Escape via magazines, finding my demo and my mom hid. Sad that I couldn't play it. And then finding out she got a DualShock so I could play the full game was a whiplash of experiences.
Wow.
So Ape Escape, famously, I believe, the first game on PlayStation that required a DualShock. So the launch PlayStation 1 controller could not work. Because in order, much like Munchin Dungeons, in order to escape the apes, or I guess to catch the apes who were escaped, you needed both analog sticks.
Yeah.
One was your body, and one was your net that you put.
One was your ape. One was your ape. One was your body, and one was your ape.
You were a man. No, the apes have escaped.
What?
You catch apes. I know. Ape escape.
You're sitting here laughing while the apes have escaped.
I thought I won. Yeah. Because it's ape escape. The goal of the game is to let the apes escape, right?
Then you won before you even put it on, because the apes are gone.
The apes are gone. We won.
I'm chiming in. Indie Mouse in chat saying play Final Fantasy 14 like a true hero Jamaican, not that Blizzard baloney. Hey, Indie Mouse, I've got one hell of a Final Fantasy 14 video planned, mate. Let's talk about that, because I've got some opinions, mate. We'll talk about it. I'll DM you. You
got to make 13 Final Fantasy videos beforehand. You got to make one for each.
Yeah, we won't allow you just to make the 4.
Right, or it could just be like, is Final Fantasy 1 an MMO? And then you're just like, no, it's regular. It's just regular. It's a regular game. I'm always tempted to Final Fantasy 14. I feel like my finger's always above it. And I'm like, is this the day I'm going to start? And then I'm like, no, you got dungeons to munch.
That's right.
I feel like MMOs are mostly about dungeon munching, right?
Hell yeah.
Like, what are MMO raids if not dungeon munching?
Hey, dude, I think FF14 and WoW do their dungeons in different ways, and it is all about dungeon munching. But like, if you go to other places like Guild Wars 2, not really. It's more about honestly.
That's more dungeon savoring. You know, like there's dungeon munching and then there's dungeon savoring. If you think
but if you go real deep and you start playing the OG Guild Wars, it's more about dungeon gorging.
Yeah. Let's just make sure afterwards we're dungeon flossing, if you know what I'm saying. If you get my drift,
I catch your drift, baby.
I don't know what my drift is, so
I don't understand.
You're drifting into a fucking wall, and we need to steer away from it.
I'm trying. Maddie D, thank you so much for the ad-free podcast. On special occasions, we were allowed to break out the Atari 2600 and play for a couple of hours. Then back into the box it went. Oh my gosh. It had to be like entombed? That's surprising. I would have. I don't like. I never had consoles that were like, okay, you can come out for this afternoon, and then you are put back in the sarcophagus until you're good again.
Me neither.
Yeah. Did Jack just quit the show? I feel like I see Jack's shoulder. Oh, he's back.
He's drifting back. Okay.
I was drifting.
Yeah. Oh, we've drifted back to the conversation.
I didn't know because I was reading and all of a sudden I looked back and I was like, oh no, did something happen to your foot?
That's gonna be be a great gag.
Jack.
What?
It's a coin toss. It's like I was like, he's either gone to do something or this is a gag. And I've known Jack for years, and I'm like, it is literally a coin toss. It's one or the other.
It's going to be a great bit for people who are listening to this podcast because they can't see the visual.
They can't see you drifting off screen. Yeah.
Even I saw it, and it still didn't look like drifting. You just rolled back into frame.
What's a drift, though? Right? Like just
think about it.
It's rolling. Think about it.
Think about it. Bugbapog with a $20 dono. Thank you so much, Bugbapog. Ever since I started saying, quote, shout to blank in the chat, shout out to blank in the chat like Marty, I started to have more fun and be happier. You know what? Shout out to friends of the show. Bugapop.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, friend of the pod.
Champion, Bugapop.
Friend of the pod has become one of my favorite gags that I've stolen from Marty as well.
Yeah.
It's great.
Me too.
Tsunami Doucher, $20 dono, no comment, just tsunami douching left and right. Oh my God. It's like a slip and slide for your bumhole.
Stunge munching up and down.
Abdel Corrales, thank you so much for the dono. Just says, do it, Eric. What does that mean? I'm gonna hide.
I don't know, but you should do it, Eric.
Roll out of frame.
Eric,
maybe this was
my
supposed
God.
to be the bald thing.
What has happened to me?
I don't know. You look the same from this angle.
Guys, I've become elderly.
Oh, what? Oh no, is this Eric trying to make you emo, giving you like eyeliner?
No, I've like gained more wrinkles on my forehead and shit. Like,
no, that's just how you look, dude.
Oh shit! I'm looking into a mirror. That's what's happening.
Oh no!
Oh,
we don't know sometimes. We just let Eric.
Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, now you're emo.
You look like the Crow from the upcoming film The Crow, based on the old movie The Crow.
I was just about to make a distasteful joke. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, The Crow's awesome.
Probably good that you didn't. But Django, another $2 dono. Thank you so much. But Django, can we get a Marty and Blank watches Silent Hill Ascension? I already spent $20 on Silent Hill Ascension in the first week because I needed to do my investigation, and it's very bad, and none of us should force ourselves to watch Silent Hill Ascension. That was the game, Jack, the choose your own adventure game. Ostensibly, it is a like an MMO choose your own adventure. It's not like live action or anything, but things happen in the story, and you're able to, if you pay more money, have more influence over a branching path. But then people are also able to bombard the streams with messages if they have money, and so they'll just be like, Kojima's turning over in his grave right now. Like all these things will pop up. God. People can like name the characters different things. They've named them all slanderous things against Silent Hill.
What? Sure.
This is still going on.
Terrible.
I can't imagine. I think it launched last October. It was like one of the last things I covered at The Escapist.
I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a movie, because I was going to suggest we do it for Patreon movie night.
There's a Silent Hill movie. And
we should watch a Silent Hill movie for Patreon movie night.
Or should we save it for October, for the spookiest month of them all?
Yes. Okay. Hey guys, if you're not one of our top tier patrons and you want to watch us watch some shit, hey, you know where to go.
You know what? Thanks to those of you who watched Richard Tracy along with us, Dick Tracy. Let me say, I've been thinking about that movie a lot. I did have COVID, and so that might have been part of it. But I've been thinking about Dick Tracy a lot.
Phenomenal movie. I'm going to watch it again soon.
Great movie.
Nick and Jesse Schwab are in town. They are staying at my house in town, to shoot the Animal Well doc. I got injured, so I could not shoot the Animal Well doc. My foot and ankle are currently like 3 times their normal size and all bruised and all super gross. We'll get a stream goal for feet pics. But last night we were just looking for stuff to do, and we all watched Madam Web. It was great.
Oh yeah. Her mom died in the jungle while researching stuff.
So speaking of watching bad movies.
There you go.
Yeah.
John Blee, thank you so much for the dono. Pro tip, you guys are great. And so were these mags. Oh, thank you. Thanks, John Blee. And Pure Pyro with a €2 dono. Were you in a band in high school? I'm not sure which one you're asking. I was not. Were either of you guys in a band? You were?
Uh-huh. I was in multiple.
Can you say your band's name? Or any of the band's names?
I can't directly. What was the name? We did lots of covers of again, I was an emo, so we did lots of covers of if there's any fellow emos in the chat, when I was younger, we did covers of The Devil Wears Prada, and 36 Crazy Fists, and lots of crazy metal stuff. I played bass, I played guitar, played bass in the first band, played guitar a lot. Did a lot of talent shows at school, and I played lots of guitar and stuff.
Nice.
Lots of nice stuff. But yeah, I play lots of instruments.
Oh yeah, and I was in rock and roll bands for a long time. I don't know if I should let you know the name of it, because it's still on the internet. You can still listen to our. No, yeah, go ahead, listen to our music. It's, just be prepared. It's not good. I mean, to me, it's good. To me, it's wonderful. We were called King's Horses. It's a chess thing.
Like all the King's horses. Oh no, a chess thing. Gotcha.
Or like Humpty Dumpty. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We were screamo. We were screamo emo. It was a lot. It's a lot. Y'all just go in with an open mind and realize I was having a lot of fun.
There you go. As long as you're having fun, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Wing Potato, thank you so much for $4.99 dono. Since we're all being nostalgic and the Olympics are on, shout out to all those janky tie-in games I poured time into growing up. I played a lot of the Olympic games. Nagano Olympics. There was a U.S. and Atlanta Olympic series of games. And then all of a sudden, Mario and Sonic got a hold of the Olympics. I'm not sure when that happened, but I missed my official Olympics games. Now they're just like NFTs. They said that there was no Mario and Sonic game this year because the Olympic Committee decided that they wanted to do like NFTs and blockchain games. Yeah. So that's why there's no official Olympics game this year.
That's weird.
Yeah. More like the Ostimpics. Am I right? Because they stink. Ostinkics.
No.
Ostimpics sounded like that drug, like the diabetes drug that people take to lose weight.
Yeah. Don't take Ostimpics if your dick is too big to pass over a bar.
Speaking of the Olympics, did you see that guy?
I did see that guy.
Did you see that guy, mate? A pole vaulter?
Well, I saw part of him.
Yeah.
It was great.
If you're gonna lose, that's how you gotta lose. Am I right?
Lose with grace. Vranicat with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Marty. If you enjoy niche Zelda videos, check out Monster Mazes and its evolution of Hyrule's geography through the games. Highly recommended. Cool. I've seen a couple of Monster Maze videos. I haven't seen that one though. I will absolutely check it out. I have Zeltic is a YouTuber who does only Zelda stuff, and then obviously I've watched a lot of Game Maker's Toolkit Zelda videos. Eddie Austin's done a bunch of great Zelda videos, but I'm always down to clown with some Zelda vids. I appreciate that. Phil My Ass Up
is the name of that
Monster
YouTuber.
Maze,
Monster Maze, yeah.
Not maze like corn, maze like the thing that makes sense in a Zelda game. Phil My Ass Up, 50 Norwegian kroner. Thank you so much, Phil. If you had a dad who liked gaming when the internet became a thing, chances are you had access to a whole lot of pirated games given how easy it was.
Oh.
Yep, I did.
Oh, look at you. And now, Phil My Ass Up, you're going to jail. We're going to arrest your father. No, we wouldn't do that. I didn't get into pirating games, really. I think I was afraid. I was afraid my parents would yell at me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want them. I did. I got a cease and desist letter once from HBO for pirating an episode of Entourage.
What?
And I think my dad called me a dumbass and said, "Don't do that anymore." And I was like, "I won't." And then I said, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." That was a very niche Entourage joke for anyone in the crowd who remembers the hit terrible series Entourage.
You're such a thief. You're a thief, Marty. You're a thief.
Shout out to Entourage. Shout out to Vinny Chase. Bajango, $5 dono. Thank you so much. I used a Game Shark on the PS1 to unlock Air Guy's characters. That is the most 90s sentence ever spoken.
There you go.
Do what you have to do. A fighting game where you had to unlock your characters, you could steal. At that point, you could start stealing. You can rob people. You can mug people. If it means unlocking,
you can do that in real life, though. Like it's
what mug.
You can mug people IRL if you're brave enough.
If you're brave enough.
Don't be a pussy.
It should be noted. Second Wind does not encourage nor condone mugging people in real life.
Second Wind doesn't, but your mate does.
No.
Okay, it's a joke. I take it all back. Don't quote that out of context.
You don't just mean mug people.
Yeah,
that's what we meant. We meant
reverse
second.
Mug. Say you're gonna mug them and then give them money.
Yeah. Oh, put a little money in their pocket and they don't know it?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Second Wind encourages handing strangers mug root beer.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Did that company go under? It was a root beer company. It might have had like a bulldog as its mascot or something. Coffee Koala with a 50-pound dono. Thank you so much, Coffee Koala. Hello, Second Wind team. In Italy on our honeymoon and sharing the love here. Fond memories of midnight launches in rural Australia for Dawn of War, World of Warcraft TBC.
The Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I actually just read the Blizzard books. I know everything about it.
Done.
And Xbox 360, 2-hour drive. Thank you, Dad. Can I get a quick shout out for my wife's birthday tomorrow? Coffee Koala's wife. Happy birthday, Coffee's Koala wife. I hope you guys are having a great time in Italy. Mrs. Koala, I hope you're having a great time in Italy.
Have some gelato. Have a
World of Warcraft Burning Crusade strategy guide.
Burning Crusade strategy guide.
Get a nice gnocchi.
Yeah.
And talk about your favorite.
Oh, look at all that. It's
orc.
just fucking graphs and fucking what a shit game.
Fuck yeah. Unky Dave also, yes, I'm going to say what Unky Dave here. Second Wind does encourage munching them dungeons, is all I'm saying.
Full endorsement.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Koala. Get some dungeon munchers. Yeah.
You know what? I'm really worried that I end up playing this game and I'm like, oh my God, it's very racist.
How much was Dungeon Munchers?
We did a whole
How much was Dungeon Munchers?
$2.99. It was
$2.99.
Everyone who's listening right now, I want to do some Second Wind science. Can everyone go and buy Dungeon Munchers?
No. Wait. What if it's racist? We don't know yet.
Then that's on Marty. I would be held responsible for this.
All I know is on my wish list.
It was some horrible racist game.
It was on my wish list, so it was either like a part of a Summer Game Fest thing or just appeared somewhere, and I got excited and I put it on my wish list, and then it came out today, and now we can dungeon munch. Yeah. So it's fine. It's fine. I don't know why you're all crying. It's fine. Coffee Koala, another 5-pounder. Thank you so much. Also, quick shout out to a fellow high school emo mate. I'm going to be honest. I'm sure a lot of the folks in chat were high school emo kids. So
yeah, 100%.
It's a normal phase.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh God, I can't wait for you guys to see mine. Whatever you're cooking up, Jack, you're going to be in shock.
I have a very silly idea, and I'll see if I can find enough ideas. I can't say too much.
Is this a thing for the show I'm thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't wait for the community
in which we might have theoretical points involved with different challenges.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah. All right.
This is good. This is good stuff. Alex Armstrong with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Best game ad, in my opinion, was Chex Quest, a free Doom clone. See, all you got to do is take Doom, add everyone's favorite cereal Chex to it. Look at you're shooting little green boys. Who needs Doom when you got the Chex Man shooting little green boys?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
love it.
Fair.
Absolutely.
Smask Audio with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Suburbia in Milwaukee for sub sandwiches. So good. I think I've been to Suburbia on North and Farwell. Yeah. Shouts to
we got a couple of Suburbias.
Yeah. The Jesus of Suburbia. Is that a Green Day thing? Remember Green Day?
Suburbia?
It's a sub sandwich place called Suburbia. Like you're gonna eat the sub so much you're gonna burp ya.
That joke hurt me. Like that actually physically hurt me.
That was so good. I don't know what you're talking about. That was a quality joke.
I didn't say it was a negative thing. I just said that I'm in pain.
No.
Bugbabog's back. Bugbabog's back with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Collector's edition of Second Wind will be on a parchment scroll. That's the only way we're gonna release our printed our written content is on parchment scroll.
I like it.
Estefan Costa, thank you so much for a $5 dono. Tuned in late, maybe mentioned already, but the late 90s, early 2000s message boards of my youth. I missed the diversity of enthusiast websites of that era. Yeah, message boards where you're like, that was when you found out like, oh, there's just a bunch of people who are just as weird as me. Like, I'm the weirdest person I know, but it turns out, I'm not nearly the weirdest person in the world. There's like a million people weirder than me, which is great.
And allowing you to be weird, right? Like going to school and, there's all those little cliques and factions and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to internalize a lot of the ways you're feeling and to be able to go online and see that there are people who are, this doesn't even extend to just games, just in general, like your hobbies and your thought processes. Seeing that there are more people thinking like that really validates the way you're feeling. And I think that's really, really positive.
Oh, I'm not that different. No, I just haven't found my people. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well said. Rose Delta with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Can I bring knowledge from experience? Yeah, you can gain knowledge from experience, I would say.
That's how I've heard it, is right. There's information, and then information plus experience is knowledge. And so it's the experience that gives you the knowledge. 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
There you go.
Harry Son, 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. When I move or do a deep clean of this place, I find it impossible to justify throwing out my dusty old stack of Game Informer AU magazines because even if I don't read them, they're still precious to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the tough thing with magazines. Yeah, I ended up getting rid of, or my parents got rid of mine at some point when I went to college, understandably, because they were like, why the fuck would you want these? And then when I moved back, I was like, oh, I actually wanted them. And they're like, well, you left. So that's wasn't your choice anymore.
Yeah,
you moved to California. You don't get a say in
idiot.
Shitty magazines.
Yeah. You're gone now.
Toonami Dusha with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. And we are getting to the end of these. Don't worry. We have only a handful left. Shout out to this Nintendo Power ad for Klonoa Empire of Dreams, a full page pink ad that all my dude friends got hyped to play. Klonoa is great. I streamed Klonoa a little while ago. He's like he's like a little rabbit dude with big old ears, and it's just a very sad ending. You get to the end of the game and you think it's going to be a normal ending, and it turns out just to be heartbreaking. Klonoa, what is going on? So there you go. Shout out to Klonoa.
I've never finished Klonoa, so now I'm intrigued.
You're going to get to the end and you're gonna be devastated.
You're going to weep like a babe.
Like an absolute babe. Storm Templar with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Storm Templar, we need Elden Ring DLC streams. We miss Jack blathering.
This week. So last week, Wednesday, I fucked up my ankle so bad that I went to the ER at 1:30 in the morning. Like I said, stream goal for really gross ass feet pick.
I've seen it. It's worth the money.
It's very gross. Apparently it's worse now than it was before.
It's even grosser now. So I've been in a lot of pain and hobbling around. It's even like right now, there's no way I can properly elevate my foot at my desk. And so like I can't be at my desk for too long. So unfortunately that meant no streams last week. And but this week I'm better. So yes, we will get a stream in this week, Elden Ring stream this week. I pinky promise, unless I fuck up a different ankle or the same ankle.
You say a different ankle like you have multiple choices, Jack. There's one. It's the other one.
Much like the pole vaulter, he's got a third ankle.
Oh yeah,
Jamae, you've never poked around my body. You don't know how many ankles.
That's true, dude. Oh my god.
Get your fingers out of here. Stop doing that. Get them out of there. Get him out of there. Keep him down. Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. We have Jack Packard at home. I believe that was in reference to me during my bald stint.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fungus Finder. Snake in the Garden with a €2 dono. Eric, we love you, but please no more nightmare filters. You're just encouraging him, Snake. What have you done? What have you done?
Yeah.
Bajango with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Thank goodness you're here. I want to buy Haze here at this GameStop for $10 bob, but I've left me wallet at home. Can you go fetch it for me, Jamate? Was that a thank goodness you're here sort of goof?
Of course, my buck. Of course I can. Yeah, it's general British just fuckery.
Britishisms.
It's a weird, we're strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Americans are strange too. We just do a bunch of guns.
In a different way, yeah.
Yeah, we do a bunch of guns. And we like wearing our flag. It's very strange. Scrowcat, $5 dono. Thank you so much. We'll have to catch the full episode in recorded form, but hi guys. Happy Monday. Thank you so much, Scrowcat. Same to you. Also, anyone watching the VOD of this, anyone listening on your podcast service of choice, you know what? We appreciate you as well.
It's true.
Hell yeah.
We do.
Michael Say, thank you. So Michelle Say, thank you so much for a €20 dono. After the last few months, I've re-listened to all the Windbreaker episodes on Spotify. First time to catch it live. Just wanted to thank the team for the lovely work you've been doing across Second Wind. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
We're excited. We got a lot of very dumb stuff planned for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredibly like
you're frothing
down to the bone dumb. So very excited for y'all to see that. And Jombly with another dono. Thank you so much, Jombly. Also meant to say pro tip is now in our vernacular thanks to GamePro. RIP those great dumb magazines. Oh, pro tip and fun fact. I like a fun fact. God knows I like a fun fact.
I adore a fun fact. Lay one on me, Marty. Give me a fun fact.
I have a fun fact.
Who are the three people? Barbara Walters. This can't be right. Barbara Walters, Martin Luther King, and Hitler were all born on the same day. I think I made that up. I think I made that up. No.
Here's a fun fact that I shared with you earlier, but I will share with the audience right now.
I should have tossed it to you instead of making up lies about Hitler and
Barbara Walters. Friend of the podcast, Barbara Walters. The original script for Tommy Boy, for the movie Tommy Boy, was titled Billy the Third, a Midwestern.
Oh my god!
And that is a really fun fact.
I'll whip one out. Did you know peanuts aren't nuts?
I did. They're legumes.
Yeah. All right. Good. You're knowledgeable. I like it.
I'll bust another one out.
Yeah.
Did you know that they're making a Lego sequel to Tommy Boy called Thomas Man?
Are they going to make a third one, which is called Tommy's Grave?
Oh no, poor Tommy.
Well, we all die eventually.
Buried in Madison, Wisconsin. Shout out to Madison, Wisconsin. I don't know what cemetery that is. Thomas Man. Fox D with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Fox D. I miss those super button mash Olympic sports games like track and field. RIP to the pile of junked NES controllers that gave their lives as heroes. I think that entire genre ended up getting frowned upon because people they are literally breaking their controllers. But the controller industry was probably like, give them more.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Let them destroy them all.
Shit. Spam that button, bitch.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Betts, been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. Are divination wizards OP? Asking for a friend. Are divination wizards?
Any build. I'm assuming they're asking about Dungeons and Dragons class. I think any build if optimized can be OP, and a lot of that is really up to you how your DM handles your enemy encounters. But no, personally, I think the most OP class is monks because eventually they get so many actions on their turn that no one else gets to do anything. So,
I played the Dark Souls board game this weekend.
Oh yeah,
nice.
And my god, it's great in theory, but you take a turn and then the enemies take a turn in between every player turn.
Yeah.
So it takes 15-20 minutes before it can get to you if you're playing with 4 or 5 people.
Eesh.
And if one person dies, the entire party fails and you have to restart. So we'd get a few rooms in and just completely fail. And it's you saying how nobody else really gets to take a turn. It just reminded me of that. It's
a really bad game. Dark Souls board games are really, really genuinely
bad. Do you think
bad
knowing Dark Souls is
knowing Dark Souls made me mad at the game because
did you rather just play Dark Souls?
What they called the kind of bald fist weapons, the Castus, or they're int weapons, and I'm like, why are they int weapons? That doesn't make any sense. And I understand why they did it, but
ever created.
But knowing, because I know the game so well, when it's something slightly different to make it fit within the board game, I'm like, it's different.
It's different. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Are
there any good video game to board games?
Slay the Spire. Of course, it's just a deck builder. So it's
of course,
real easy, but
game or whatever. Yeah.
Very, very good board game.
Yeah.
There was a Bloodborne card game that wasn't the worst thing I've ever played.
That's good.
Damnation by Faint Praise.
Yeah.
My Stardew Valley board game is still in the plastic. I don't want to know if it's good or bad because I just like having it.
There you go. Indie Mouse says that there's only one true Dark Souls board game, and it's called Kingdom Death Monster. Maybe that's just a board game that feels like Dark Souls.
Opening a tab. So. Thanks, my Indie Mouse.
The name of one of Jamate's bands in high school, Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, it was.
And then last super chat at the moment, Brewbarian, $5 Canadian. Thank you so much, Brewbarian, and all of our friends north of the border. Glad to see you all today. Hope you're feeling better, Marty, and I look forward to more quality content from the Second Wind group. Cheers. Thank you so much, Brewbarian. Appreciate it. Definitely feeling better. Not 100%, but definitely 1,000 times better than I was last week. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And we did it.
We did it.
We got to the end of the show. I can't believe it. Pizza party. Pizza Hut pizza party. We're going to read some books. We're going to go to the salad bar, and we're going to get a demo disc with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And then
hell yeah.
Jermaine.
I'm gonna listen to some Goldfinger. By the way, speaking, what did we talk about with like the stacked demo disc? Yeah. So like if you play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which is on a stacked demo disc, all killer, no filler, and then you listen to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, which is all killer, no filler.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's just the absolute best.
It's the best.
It is the best. Thank you guys for joining me. Jermaine, what do you got going on? What's your folks?
What haven't I got going on, mate?
Ludo keeps getting bigger.
No, she doesn't. She hasn't grown for like a year.
Just the biggest every time. Grows a whole.
She just needs a haircut because my groomer's like had an accident and is away. I'll put you down for a sec.
Don't put her down.
I have a few things going on this week. On Friday, we'll have a new episode on Design Delve, which will be on the mechanic that's killing games before they start, which is all about death and how we manage death in games and how that can be the single most important thing in a game to keep pacing going. And then also continuing the Beyond Good and Evil playthrough this Friday.
Yes.
So now I think it's 4 p.m. Central.
4 p.m. Central, I believe. You're going to continue that with Jess.
4 p.m. Central, so Jess will be back. Yeah.
You finished the game, although possibly one more week.
Yeah, potentially one more, but I'm going to try and finish on this next stream. So for people who've been asking for that, that'll be on Friday. And then following week, there'll be Dev Heads again. So yeah, that's everything from me.
Yeah,
beautiful.
We'll probably popping on random streams as we
for sure.
Some more streams to plug in. Heck yeah. Jack, what about you?
I will be back tomorrow with Marty and the one and only Darren Mooney for the Rewind podcast. We're going to talk about summer blockbusters, where they've been, where they are right now. And Darren and I might get all chummy over an opinion that we share that no one else seems to about current summer blockbuster. It could be any current summer blockbuster. I'm not going to say what, but Darren and I are on the same page for something, and we're going to get in trouble.
Darren Poole and the Milverine.
Yep. Then we'll figure out a time for an Elden Ring DLC stream, whether it's Thursday or Friday. We'll figure that out. And of course, Saturday is the season 1 finale of Adventure Is Nigh Remastered. Then we move on to season 2, side quest 2. It's going to be where we are chugging closer and closer to getting all the remasters out, getting you to that brand new season 4 stuff. Oh, so exciting.
We love to chug and we love to munch. Those are two things we love doing around here. As for the rest of the stuff, this evening, of course, 6 p.m. Central, tune in to the Hidden Gems crew. Jesse, Jess, and Casey will be back. I believe all 3 playing a game called Dark and Darker.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Right. Apparently, it's a co-op game of some sorts that came out, and they're gonna jump into that. So that'll be this evening. Like Jack mentioned, tomorrow Rewind. Wednesday, again, Yahtzee's not here, so no Yahtzee Tries stream and no Fully Ramblematic. However, on Wednesday will be the Yahtzee Tries edited video from the past couple weeks. So you'll get a little taste of Yahtzee, and then he'll be back on Monday. Don't worry, everybody.
Yeah.
Wednesday evening, Firelink, Jesse Galena is going to be joining Casey and I. And then on Thursday evening, normal time, we'll be continuing our Devil May Cry series.
Nice.
We did it. I'm proud of us. So thank you to everyone so much. Thank you to everyone who watched live on YouTube, anyone who's listening on their podcast service of choice or watching the VOD. Thank you so much, Eric, for your production as always. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Jack. And for Marty, this was Windbreaker episode number 36. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Bye.